Today we will see about reproduction in organisms. The first thing we here see is the first question in the first page of NCERT book is that what is lifespan? What is lifespan? The period from birth to death. The period from birth to death is the lifespan. This is the lifespan. So this is the first thing. Here it is given that what is the first thing. Then this lifespan factors is independent of size. Is independent of size. This lifespan factor is independent of size. Independent of size in the sense, think parrot and crow. They are almost of equal size, almost. But they have a huge difference in their lifespan. It was like parrot having 140 years and crow around 15 or something like that. I don't remember exactly. So it is not dependent on size. They have a wide difference in their lifespan, though being of almost equal size. In the same way, mango tree has much shorter lifespan as compared to peepal tree. So in the death of every individual organism is very sure. It is very certain. It is definite. But no natural death occurs in single-celled organism. Note, this is a point. Single-cell organism no natural death. They have no natural death. In the same way, but the question arises, why? Why these organisms are immortal, single-celled organisms? These single-celled organisms are immortal. Why? It is because huge number of species, like suppose this is binary fission, again this develops, then again they divide, then again this divides. In the same way, it is a continuous process. They have vast number of plants and vast number of species, animal species and plant species, and there must be some processes in living organism that ensure this continuity. That's why they are immortal. In amoeba, this reproduces by binary fission. One is parent cell, another is daughter. Okay, single cell, it divides, goes on continuous process. Then what is reproduction? The biological process in which organism gives rise to young ones, or offspring gives rise to young ones, which is a nearby replica of itself. That is reproduction. This is the reproduction process. This is reproduction. And the offspring or the young ones which it produces, they again grow. The offspring grows, mature, and produces new offspring. The young ones grows, matures, and produces new offspring. What are the factors for reproduction? There are actually 3 factors, but in your book it is given 2 factors. The first factor is habitat. The second factor is internal physiology. And the third factor is the environment. These are the 3 factors that are responsible for reproduction. So this is what we learnt. Then it comes asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. It's given in a very brief way in our book, but we'll read in detail because it will be helpful in our neet and as well as cbse board exams. Our concept will get clear. So we will see now asexual reproduction. What happens there? Let's see. Actually, reproduction is of 4 types. Actually, I mean 3 types. Vegetative, asexual, and sexual. It's all asexual only. Vegetative is under its category, but still then we consider it separately. And vegetative again into natural, artificial. Then natural again grows into root, stem, leaf, turion, and bulbil. You have read these all in morphology of class 11. Reproduction: vegetative, asexual, sexual, then vegetative, natural, artificial, natural, root, stem, leaf, turion, and bulbil. We will read about this later. First, let me discuss about asexual, because in your book first asexual reproduction is given. Then we'll come to this, don't worry. First, we'll discuss about asexual reproduction. Asexual or asexual, whatever you may pronounce it. Binary fission. Measure methods, I am saying. There are a lot of methods. Measure methods we will do. Budding and sporulation. This occurs in unisexual organism. Okay, occurs in unisexual organism. Then mitotic division. Before saying about mitotic division, let me say about the mitotic division. In amitotic division of binary fission, what happens is that, let me say about amitotic division. In binary fission, mitotic also occurs, amitotic also occurs. In amitotic, first nucleus divides equally. This is the important point, because in budding you will learn that equal division of nucleus, but the unequal division of cytoplasm. Here, after nucleus gets divided, nucleus divides equally. That is, the chromosomes also divide. Then the chromosomes also divide. Then after the nucleus gets divided, cytoplasm divides. That also equally. Cytoplasm also equal division. Then in mitotic division of binary fission, okay, there is no space, I am writing here. Mitotic division of binary fission, it occurs in eukaryotic organism. Eukaryotic organism, like mainly yeast. eukaryotic organism, that is mainly yeast. In eukaryotic organism, the process that it undergoes is karyosporosis or chorosis, whatever you may write it. Karyochorosis or karyosporosis. In this process of karyosporosis or karyochorosis, spindle fiber formation occurs inside the nucleus where chromosomes divides equally. Nucleus divides equally. Here also the same happens, and then the cytoplasm divides. So this is the process of binary fission. Mitotic occurs in unisexual organism. A mitotic division, nucleus divides and chromosomes also divides equally, cytoplasm also divides. Then mitotic, yeast, eukaryotic organisms, karyosporosis, then again nucleus divides equally, cytoplasm also divides. So this is the way. Let's see its diagram. So this is its diagram. First, then the nucleus divides like this, then the inside cytoplasm divides, then again it divides into two, then again the process of this divides, continuous process. This binary fission process also occurs, I said, in unisexual organism, but also in bacterial cells. So this is binary fission. Here the cytoplasm divides. Then now we'll come to the process of budding. Let's see. This budding process mainly in Hydra. The bud always forms from the main plant axis. See, if this is Hydra, if this is your Hydra, the lateral growth of bud, somehow like this, not artistic enough. This is the lateral bud, and this lateral bud, again this develops into a new Hydra like this. Then again it forms buds, then again forms. So it is also a continuous process. Asexual reproduction means continuous process because vast spaces, that's why single-celled organisms, and they are immortal. But here in Hydra, this lateral bud grows into a main, but this bud formation always occurs from the main plant axis. Here in budding, unequal division of cytoplasm, equal division of nucleus, equal division of nucleus and unequal division of cytoplasm. Here also karyosporosis or karyochorosis process occurs in budding also. Now we'll see about sporulation. Sporulation means formation of spores. Sporulation means formation of spores. There are formation of spores, formation of different kind of spores. Let you write different kind of spores. In our syllabus we'll read about two spores. One is conidiospores, another is the process sporangiospores. Sporangiospores. In conidiospores, if ascomycetes, the sac fungi, loses its sexual stage, then it has to be placed in the deuteromycetes, that is the imperfect fungi. If ascomycetes loses its sexual stage, then it has to be placed in deuteromycetes. This process occurs in conidiospores. This conidiospores divides into conidiophore. Then that divides into two parts: monoverticillate biverticillate. Unbranched, branched. Here example is Penicillium fricitans. Here example is Penicillium albicans. Here Penicillium fricitans, here bifurcated Penicillium albicans. Its diagram is somehow like a tree almost. These all are conidia. These are conidia. This is metulae. Here it is known as rami. This is the conidiospores. This is Penicillium. Conidia, metulae, rami, conidiospores, Penicillium. This is the diagram. Then in sporangiospore, rhizopus and mucor example. Which is the structure is somehow like a mushroom. All this is like that. So this is about sporangiospore. Nothing even more about it in your syllabus. One question which arises is that conidiospore is exospore or endospore. The conidiospore is exospore, whereas sporangiospore is endospore. The sporangiospore is endospore and the conidiospore is exospore. Now we'll see about the aquatic plant. Water hyacinth, known as terror of Bengal. It is known as terror of Bengal. Invasive weeds found growing where there is standing water. It drains oxygen from water, leads to death of fishes. This plant was introduced in India because of its beautiful flowers and shape of the leaves. It is difficult to get rid of them because they spread like this. If one grows here, then it gets spread, then that gets spread, so the whole community becomes like that. In the same way, then another. So it is difficult to get rid of them, as it is very difficult to get rid of them as they spread over water body in short period of time. Then when nodes come in contact with deep damp soil or water, that produces roots and new plants. Same way, adventitious buds arise from notches present at the margin of leaves of bryophyllum. And this asexual is always or mostly exhibited by higher plants, also small plants, but almost had plants. Then we'll read the next mode. But we need to read about vegetative before reading the After reading asexual, we have to read about the vegetative reproduction before we go for sexual reproduction. So let's see vegetative reproduction. I hope this has become enough for today. I hope you don't get bothered by my this handwriting the way I have written in cursive. It becomes a bit difficult to write over here. Well, we'll see it on our next video of vegetative reproduction. For today, we got about asexual, and I hope like it.